Is that
for
beef
people
in that
who just
lasagna?
can't decide.
Yeah, it's pork and beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, for a special occasion, could you get like family style or order a bunch of people? I remember the last time I had a huge gathering out to dinner. We were celebrating my daughter's graduation, and the restaurant was very gracious, and they said, okay, we'll kind of do this family style. Since you're ordering so much, we'll make a huge amount that you can kind of pick and choose from yourself rather than just come out individual plates.
Actually, on our menu, we looked at that, and we thought the best way to accommodate most of the customers was going to be to offer smaller portion sizes.
Oh, okay.
So instead of somebody, an older couple that comes in and wants to split their entrees, we created smaller portion sizes, and it's on about 10 items. So you can just come in and you can get, half of a chicken parmesan, or you can get, a smaller sirloin or a smaller salmon.
Well, that's a great idea while people are trying to watch their weight, too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
What is the most popular selling dish at Carrabbas?
Chicken marsala.
Oh, really?
By far.
Yeah.
Now that's in wine and mushrooms?
Yeah, we use Lombardo marsala. It's a dry marsala, and we reduce it to make the sauce, and then we add our mushrooms and slowly add butter to it and bring it up as a sauce.
Are you in favor of the new smaller portions? Because that's been one of my pet peeves. It seems like you get so much food that if you're not in a position to take it home, you have to just throw it out. And I hate to waste food. As a dad, I've always been against wasting food. But I'm glad to see smaller portions, things that you can. Even though that looks pretty sizable there.
Well, with the way the economy is and how tight everybody's budget is, we thought that it was better to order, smaller portions, at a cheaper price, to accommodate more people.
Did we get to taste that one?
Absolutely.
It may be morning breakfast time for other people, and we just have a few seconds before break. But for us, we've been up 5 or 6 hours. It's a good lunchtime.
So it's never a bad time to eat this stuff.
Okay, I'm going to try the chicken. I bet you want to try the lasagna.
I'll try the lasagna.
Okay.
I'm big on lasagna. Actually, my wife makes a pretty good lasagna, but I don't think it's going to compare to this.
Oh, I hope she's not listening.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go with the smaller bite so I can actually talk.
5
maybe.
layers. That's really delicious.
Well,
Even the cheese is so
it is.
prominent.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to take a break, but we're going to have more from Carrabbas and more from Brett when we come back. Enjoy the Italian music, and I wish you could smell how great it is.
I wish you could enjoy this as much as we... No, actually I don't. I just should have more of it for myself. This is Mornings on a wonderful Carrabbas morning.
Yeah.
Is it only 'cause
It's 38 minutes after the hour, and boy, are we enjoying some great Italian food. We've got Brett Cavalli from Carrabbas with us, and it looks like we're going to have a little dessert here in a second.
Who I almost renamed Brett Gnocchi. I was so intent on getting that first dish because it was so good. So sorry, Brett.
Well, Brett, before we get to the dessert, I wanted to ask you kind of a personal question. You mentioned during the break that you've gained 40 pounds since we saw you
Yep,
last.
yep.
You look very healthy.
Oh, thank you.
But you have Crohn's disease, and I know that some of our viewers and listeners have that. How do you manage it?
Well, actually, I was, really going through a bad spell about 6 months, 8 months ago, and got with my doctor, and they came out with a new medication called Cimzia, and it just came out in August of this year. And no, I'm not getting paid to talk about it, but out of all the years that I've had the disease, I've never really been able to find a medication to work for me. So I had more of a severe form of it. And this new medication is it's remarkable.
It must be
remarkable.
tough on a chef having to watch what you eat.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about Carrabbas because everything's from scratch, and so I know all the ingredients and every single thing that we produce, so I can watch, what I ate.
But what were the things that would aggravate your Crohn's if you decided to indulge and say, oh, I'm just going to toss caution to the wind and really eat something I like? What would really inflame the problem?
Dairy, alcohol, spices. Yeah, so.
I've heard nuts are bad sometimes,
Yeah, they
too.
are.
Yeah.
Lori and I have a dear friend who left the television industry to become a chef. He went to the Culinary Institute of America. What advice do you have for people, who have a real interest, a sincere interest in food, and maybe think of themselves as potentially a chef or somebody who could open a restaurant? I mean, I know it's a competitive business. I know it can be a very unforgiving business. But I mean, what advice do you have to somebody who decides, I really want to do that?
Practice makes perfect. You've got to spend time working with ingredients, learning flavor profiles, what goes with what, and that's it just takes practice. And the best way is to move up through a restaurant and learn from the ground up. Nobody's going to walk out and just become a chef. And going to school gives you some training, but real practical experience is what's going to give you the best experience.
Yeah, because let's face it. I mean, everybody serves well, pick a dish, chicken parmesan. But I mean, what makes yours, or what makes each restaurant significant, is basically how they tweak it. You know, so
Exactly.
I imagine it is trial and error. I mean, on a very limited scale. When I cook at home, sometimes I'll take a little thyme here, a little paprika here. You know, just got to try things, and so it tastes pretty good. You know, a lot of times not so good. But I mean, it largely trial and error until you just decide. You know, and then when you know what flavors you're going to do to your dishes, then you can kind of play with it. Okay, I'm going to put a little this and that. Or I'll take a little garlic here. I mean, it's interesting.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I understand that you've got a special holiday gift card deal going. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually starting November 1st, when you purchase $100 in gift cards, you get a $20 bonus card, which you can use
What
in the
a
restaurant.
deal.
It really is, actually. So you're getting $20 for free, and that promotion starts November 1st, ends on December 31st. And you can do that online, or you can do it at any of the Carrabbas.
That would take care of all your holiday shopping
Yep.
because you could just buy $20 cards for everybody.
Yep.
And one
I
size
think
fits
I
all.
might do that for everybody. You know, and there's nothing like the gift of food. It's really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we don't often think about desserts when we talk about Italian food, but there are some great ones. You know, and you've got one here that I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, it's actually a first. Our executive chef, they experimented for, boy, it was about 2 years before they got this recipe put together. And, you know, it was an old recipe, an old family recipe, and it's called limoncello bread pudding. And the sauce we use is with Caravella limoncello, which is an Italian
limoncello
liqueur.
is like a dessert wine or an
It
after
is.
dinner
It's something
aperitif.
after something you could drink, and you'd want to drink it cold after, you know, after your meal. But with the sauce, it's really sweet, and it's just an amazing sauce.
Now,
So
how do you-
what, is that ice cream on top?
Yeah, we use Bluebell vanilla bean ice cream.
Oh, Bluebell, there you
Oh,
go.
it's gotta be good if it's
another
Bluebell.
favorite. We've
It
had
is.
Bluebell on before too. I mean, I've heard bread pudding 1,000 times, but how do you make bread? I mean, bread pudding really is made with bread. I mean, it sounds simple, but I don't.
Or is it
know
more like
bread pudding.
cake?
Yeah, well, we use a French bread, and so it's very sweet and flaky. It's like a dessert bread, and we slow bake it at about 160 degrees, and it's got vanilla beans in it, and we slow cook it, and it takes about an hour, and we bring it up to about 172 to 174 degrees, you know, in a water bath while it's baking in the oven.
And is that like cinnamon running through there, or what is?
It actually has some nutmeg in it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then we use a sprig of mint on top of it, and then we use the limoncello sauce that we create, and it just goes right on top of it. But then, you know, we'll also bake it again for another 40 minutes on top of that.
Oh, wow.
Once you let it sit in the cooler and cool down.
Now, I've always been curious about this. You know, at restaurants, clearly you have to make some things in advance, I would think. Maybe like a bread pudding, you can't cook that during. Sometimes somebody orders it. So how do you know? Just trial and error. Okay, we're gonna need some limoncello bread dessert tonight, or you need we better make sure we got more. You name it. I
That
mean,
really is a tough proposition
Yeah.
because, you know, everything we do from scratch, we don't know how much we're going to sell that night. We really don't. We have a guesstimation on how many people we're going to have, so we try to prepare enough so that we don't run out of the product. And it is tough. It's tough. But, you know, you learn as you go and you get better at it.
Before this dessert came out, what was your most popular dessert?
Well, we have our new mini desserts that I brought last time on the
yeah.
show, the
Right.
Buccinos. And those actually are the most popular items that we have on the menu. We do also have a Sogno di Cioccolata, and that's probably my favorite by far. We take 2 chocolate brownies, brush them with Kahlua. It's got homemade whipped cream, chocolate mousse, and then we have chocolate shavings from Belgium between each layer. And homemade chocolate underneath and on top.
To a chocoholic, that sounds
Oh,
really
Now,
good.
you're not going to cram that in one of those little glasses, are you?
No,
That's
no.
full-size dessert.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, can we taste that?
Absolutely.
All
For the
right.
ice cream
See,
melts.
I
right.
I don't know from bread pudding, so I'll be anxious to do this.
Oh, okay. So you've never had bread pudding?
Well, if I have, I don't remember it. So it says something right there.
Yeah.
I don't remember bread pudding. Has a nice consistency.
And, you know, I'm trying to watch my weight, Brett, so I'm going to take a very small bite, but it's worth it, huh, Larry?
Forget wait. Forget, that's great.
It tastes like something. What does it taste like?
Tastes like lemon.
But it tastes like some